Hi, my name is Valerie, and I am a data analyst student. I am presenting a project that is part of my curriculum. In the United States, influenza season brings a surge in flu cases, with vulnerable populations at a higher risk of serious complications that often lead to hospitalization. To manage the influx of patients, hospitals and clinics rely on temporary staff for additional support. My task in this project is to assist the medical staffing agency in optimizing the deployment of temporary healthcare workers. The objective is to analyze data sets that includes both census data and influenza deaths across the United States. By examining trends in flu outbreaks, we can strategically plan staff deployment for the next flu season. The project covers all 50 states and aims to answer three key questions. Who are the most vulnerable groups? When does the flu season peak? And where should temporary staff should be deployed first? Next, who encompasses the vulnerable group? To determine the most at-risk groups, I analyzed cumulative influenza deaths by age. Any group with over 6,000 deaths was classified as vulnerable. The results identify that children under 5 years old and adults aged 65 years and older are the part of the vulnerable group. These populations are the most likely to require hospitalization during peak flu season. Next, sorry, I examined the relationship between population size and flu deaths. The data shows a strong correlation between the higher overall population, the more flu deaths, or if the higher the vulnerable population, even more pronounced flu deaths. This indicates that staffing resources must be prioritized in areas with larger vulnerable populations. So where to send the additional staff? To assist in planning, I developed a heat map that categorizes states based on population density and of vulnerable groups. The high priority state is California. The medium priority states are New York, Texas, Florida, Illinois, and Pennsylvania. Every other remaining state is a low priority state. The secondary priority can be determined based on the vulnerable population of those states. Next, we want to know when to send the staffing out. When is flu season? The critical factor in planning is the timing. Then analyzing the flu season trends across all states revealed consistent seasonal patterns. The peak months are December and January. The flu season lasts from December through March, but the highest staff demand will be for the first 2 months of the peak season. Since the flu trends are similar across all states, staffing agencies can plan in advance, ensuring that hospitals are adequately staffed during critical months. The vulnerable population consists of children under 5 and adults over 65. The higher vulnerable population areas need the higher staffing levels. December through March is the key staffing period with the highest demand in December and January. Next, the medical staffing agency should aim for an optimal staff-to-patient ratio of 90 to 110% during the peak season. Future considerations include perhaps an end-of-season staff survey that will collect insights on staff shortages and unexpected challenges to refine deployment strategies. Monitoring annual census data, track shifts in the vulnerable population densities for better future planning. You could also monitor early warning indicators as far as keeping an eye on birth rate trends and aging populations data to anticipate future demand. Lastly, community education campaigns can promote flu prevention in high-risk areas to reduce hospitalizations. This analysis provides a data-driven foundation for the medical staffing agency to allocate resources more effectively, ensuring that healthcare facilities are prepared for flu season each year. Thank you for your time.